Hi, good morning. It's Dawn here from a small holding in Wales. It's been a good while since I've made a video. I think the last video I did might have been back in March when I said, I can't remember what I actually said in that video without looking back on it, but I know I did do a post to say I was taking a break from doing videos. So here I am in the polytunnel. So I think it's been 6 months. We'll be coming into November now, and yeah, still around, still on the small holding. Everything's just been ticking along. It's been nice to have a break. I had lots of things mentally that I had to get my head round, so I'm not going to go into that now. So anyway, a quick recap of what's been happening over the past 6 months or 7 months, whatever it is. The in-laws, Martin's parents, are still here with us. They're both now diagnosed with Alzheimer's, and his dad has also got vascular dementia. They're both 88 years old. They're still living in the mobile home. They're just ticking along. I don't see that they're going to be living there for, much longer, really. But in the meantime, they're still there, and we're doing what we can for them. So what else has been happening? The buffalo have now all gone. We sold off the breeding herd. They went back in March, and they've gone to a farm in Shropshire, I believe it is. Staffordshire, Shropshire. So they've all gone. So that was all the breeding side. All the mammals and their calves all went. We had, that left us with three young bulls that have now all gone to meat. The last one went the other week, so that's it. We've got no more buffalo on the farm. This was all planned last year, long before the parents came here. So we're not getting any more buffalo. That's when we're not going down that route. We're still hoping maybe in the next year, 2 years, that we will be moving, downsizing and getting on with the plans that we had, that we were hoping we were going to be doing this year, but we're not. So what else has been going on? I bought in some young lambs to help keep some of the grass down, only 4. I lost one of them a few weeks ago. He had neurological problems and he had to be put to sleep. These last few days it had become quite distressing. Then bought 2 new young billies in. That's been recent, so we will be putting them to the goats this winter. I've still got Helen, the disabled goat, but I've got Mama, Connie, and 2 young females which are now 2 years old and old enough to breed. So they're Boar Guernsey Cross, and I'm hoping to put them to kid and next year to be milking. I've really missed not milking this year. And last year, of course, that's 2 years of not milking. Can I hear rain? Yes, I can hear rain. And I might be looking at getting a couple of boar females to breed just for meat. We've still got all the chickens and ducks. The pigs have gone, of course. They've gone to really rear them just for the freezer. The other 3 goats that were being reared for meat, they've all gone. We've still got the alpacas, got 4 alpacas. So that's it. We're still ticking along. We lost our black lab Paige back in August. So that leaves us with just Poppy now, the blind chocolate lab. And we're just ticking along. It's been a really good year for growing veg. I've really got stuck into doing that. I've also managed to get the gardens under control and planted up, and they've been looking really lovely all year, and they're still looking good now. Keeping the grass cut every week and everything. I've enjoyed doing all that. Growing lots and lots of veg. Preserving veg. I've been selling veg. I've been doing veg boxes. And trying lots of veg that I hadn't tried before. I now get a monthly subscription of seeds from She Grows Veg, and it's heirloom seeds, and it's all seeds that come that month, that can be planted that month. And that's been really, really interesting to do. Yeah, so everything's just ticking along. As you can see, I've still got some tomatoes. There's some tomatoes here in this polytunnel. The other polytunnel where I grow my main crop of tomatoes. I'm getting ready now just to clear them down and, you know, put it all to rest. So yeah, so I need to do something with the last of the tomatoes. Yeah, it has been a really good year for veg, really good year. I was, when I was feeding the alpacas this morning, I was collecting some acorns, thousands of acorns this year, thousands. I've never seen it like it before. But collecting some acorns, and these are ones I spotted that are starting to germinate. So yeah, I've got a couple of handfuls of those, so I'm going to get them planted up into pots. What else have I got going? This is some rocket that's on the go. As I said, we've still got tomatoes. I'm just about to pick some watercress. I've got watercress in abundance down there. There's some beetroots there to be picked. There's still some kohlrabi, spring onions. Look at the size of these spring onions. And excuse all the weeds, but look at them. They're just like onions. And they've been really, really lovely. Grown from seed, absolutely fantastic. Broad beans, they come from She Grows Veg, and they're just starting to flower, and they're all coming on great down there. This is a leaf broccoli. Again, it's from She Grows Veg, and I think it's called a bastard broccoli. And it grows a bit like a cabbage, but it tastes like broccoli. But it is related to broccoli. I'm just getting in here and do some weeding actually. These cauliflowers, these are the green ones. Cauliflower verde, I think it is. And again, it's from She Grows Veg. And the pak choy over there, same thing, it's from her as well. But the watercress, I've got watercress everywhere. So I'm going to pick a load of watercress today and make up some soup. And then I've got to a couple of red cabbages here. This one, once the head had cut off, it started producing smaller heads, which I've left, and I'm going to be picking some, and that one the same. So I'm going to pick some of the small heads and do something with them. All this empty space here, celeriac, which again was growing from seed. That's all coming on fine. These are just flowers that are waiting to be potted up. There's some spinach. Again, it's an old heirloom spinach, and yellow Swiss chard, again from She Grows Veg, and the red spinach there. So yeah, so that's all coming on great. That'll give us some greens during the winter. I'm going to put some covers over these actually, because the netting at the bottom of the tunnel does leave them a bit cold, so it means they're slower growing. So I'm going to net them to try and get them to come on a bit better. Out here we've got broccolis. These are just coming on, starting to form their heads. So these are all purple sprouting broccolis. These are just wild, some seeds, flower seeds that were thrown in. Parsnips. Parsnips were great. We started harvesting a few parsnips. Carrots, we've been harvesting those as well. And then in this polytunnel, which is now ready to be cleared down really, because it's everything's starting to wilt with the cold. So the courgettes have got to come out, go on the compost heap. I'm going to harvest the last of the peppers. There's a few peppers there. Get the peppers out. There's a couple of courgettes on that plant and the yellow plants up there, so I'm going to get them harvested and get the plants pulled out. The butternut squash, I'm not going to do anything else now, so I'm going to get them harvested and cleared out. I've got Chinese cabbage here coming on great, and chicory. Again, both of these have come from She Grows Veg. Look at all them tomatoes that have all fallen. So again, I'm just going to harvest what tomatoes are up there and get the plants out. So I want to make room for some more. You know, there's quite a lot of butternut squash there. But it's starting to become all a bit mildewy as well, so yeah, so I shall just harvest the last of them courgettes and clear it. Rosemary's been fantastic, absolutely fantastic. Around the corner, excuse the wind, there's some late potatoes here which I'm going to cover over and try and keep going long enough to get a small crop from. Still got a few leeks. This one can be harvested, but these ones have all gone past their best. So they'll all just go into the chickens. And I've got some broccoli here that I have been harvesting, and then it's just reshooting up. So again, but this one's all ready to be cleared down. So we are still harvesting some veg. Right, I've got my watercress, and now I'm just going through it, going to get it all cleaned up. I will be adding the flowers as well. It's just the thick stems I really don't want, so they'll go back onto the compost heap. And yeah, so I'm just making up watercress soup. We're on a bit of a no spend at the moment again. I do feel we're all guilty of spending too much, and there's, you know, buying into all the commercialism and everything. And yeah, and I do think sometimes we need to take stock and really look at, do we really need to spend or buy what we're buying? And 9 times out of 10 the answer is no. So I'm trying to keep my shopping down to the bare essentials, which means I'm only spending about £30–40 a month, and making meals up from what we've got indoors, using what we've got growing. And I've never been one into, you know, going out for coffee or buying in prepared lunches and that. So, but I know some people do, and although I am guilty of buying, when I go shopping, an iced coffee. I do like an iced coffee, but I've put stop to that as well. And yeah, next month I officially become an old age pensioner, which I'm quite looking forward to. And that was the whole point of winding down this year, was to yeah, it's just worked hard all my life, and now it's time to take it a bit easier. But of course it's not, it's going to be delayed by a bit. If it wasn't already delayed by 6 years by the government, because they stole 6 years pension from us and made us continue to work and pay into the system. There we go, that's another subject for another day. So, right, the watercress soup is getting on the go. I've got the diced onions here, just sauteing away in a bit of butter. Now, instead of potato, I'm adding potato squash, because we have a lot of potato squashes, which I've been growing all summer. Potato squash is like, oh, this. And this is probably a medium-sized one. Some of them I have that are a bit smaller, some of them are a lot bigger. And I use these as a potato substitute. They're called mashed potato winter squash. Winter squash meaning they will store into winter. Summer squashes are soft-skinned, thin-skinned, and they don't really store, such as courgettes, I can't think what else, these spaghetti squash and things like that. They're summer squashes. Potato squash, they grow a bit like pumpkins, spread all over the place, and you end up with an abundance of them. I don't know how many I've harvested this year. I've given away loads, I have sold loads, and have still got loads in storage. And we use them roasted, mashed, anything as a good substitute for potato, really. They don't have the starches of potato, but they have the same creamy texture and a very similar taste to a mashed potato. And they're very low in carbs, of course. So they're just a good potato sub. It looks a bit yellow under the light here, but it's actually more of a creamy white colour. So potato squash is going into the soup, and that will help thicken it up instead of normal potatoes. I think I've added a bit of seasoning, just straightforward salt and pepper. I'm now adding some home-canned chicken stock, and that will just come to the boil and simmer away. There's probably not enough liquid, so I'll probably add about another jar full of liquid to that. It's all just guesswork, really. And then once the potato squash have softened, then I can add the watercress. Right, the watercress is in and wilted. Now I'm just adding, this is a half cream, half milk mixture. And then, yeah, I've already seasoned it with salt and pepper. So I'm just going to bring all of that to a simmer, and then I will blitz it down to a smooth soup. Right, I've got some more seeds on the go. There's some corn salad, normal white cauliflower and all year round cauliflower, and I've got a purple cauliflower in there. So that's about it for today. I'm now going to head to the house and have a nice bowl of my soup. So, thank you very much for tuning in and watching, and I hope to get back to you soon with some more videos. So take care everybody, and don't forget to hit subscribe, hit like, it helps the video get seen, etc. All the logarithm stuff, and it doesn't cost you anything to do that. So take care everyone, and I'll speak to you again soon.